Welcome adventurers to the Jade Abbey, a sacred verdant place deep in Ghyran, the realm of life. But all is not well. Its fountains, once sweet and clear, are soured with rot. Its air, once thick with the sense of growth, is ripe instead with the odor of decay. A squalid and polluted evil threatens the very heart of the Jade Abbey, and it must be cast out. That's where you come in. Warhammer Quest Darkwater is a thrilling adventure game for 1 to 4 players. In the box, you'll find a whopping 49 Warhammer miniatures, including 7 heroes, 33 enemies, and 4 mighty bosses. There's also a lay-flat book featuring 19 maps on which to play out your quest, as well as an assortment of dice, tokens, a rulebook, and 96 quest cards. In this video, we're going to play a hero and an enemy turn in the Cleanse the Spawn Pit encounter, following the steps laid out on the Quick Start Guide, included with the game. Play along to learn the basics, then finish the scenario on your own. First off, follow the gather components and set up the encounter instructions in the Quick Start Guide. The 4 heroes we'll be using for this encounter are Edmarc Valoran, the Manticore Knight, Bren Tylis, the Renegade Saint, Inara Sion, the Cleansing Blade, and Drolf Ironhead, the Grizzled Explorer. Your band of valiant adventurers will be facing off against a horde of vile Maya Kelpies. Next, find the Cleanse the Spawn Pit quest card and turn the map book to its first page. Done? Your tabletop should look something like this. It's time for your quest to begin. In this encounter, the heroes must destroy each nest on the battlefield. Then sprint for the Spiral Hex, before the timer token reaches the end of the round track. Edmarc Valoran is first on the initiative track, so he'll take the first turn. To play your turns, your heroes will use 3 core abilities, each represented by a card: move, attack, and aid. Each of these cards has an energy icon, meaning it can be expended to perform an ability. Expend cards by turning them sideways. Edmarc starts out by using the move ability. Before Edmarc can move, he must pay the energy cost. We'll generate the energy from the aid card here, because Edmarc doesn't plan to use it later this turn. Edmarc can then move a number of hexes up to his move characteristic, which is D6. We roll a 6-sided dice and get a 4, so Edmarc moves 4 hexes north. After Edmarc moves, we must turn the aid card sideways to show that it's been expended. Abilities on expended cards cannot be used for the rest of the turn. This makes choosing the order in which you expend your cards crucial to your strategy. In this example, Edmarc can't use aid this turn, so if a nearby hero is badly hurt, they're out of luck. Edmarc's still not where he wants to be, so he uses the move ability again. If he gets near the Maya Kelpie, he'll want to attack. So we pay the energy cost using the move card. We roll the dice for Edmarc's move and get a 4. Then we expend the move card. Edmarc can't move through or end his move in blocked or occupied hexes, and the yellow dash snare hex would cut his move short, so he moves into a hex adjacent to the Maya Kelpie. Finally, within range, Edmarc uses the attack ability, swinging his blade at the Maya Kelpie with all the strength he can muster. We choose the attack card to gain energy from, the only ability we haven't expended. Edmarc's hero card shows that his sword attacks have a range of 1 hex, that we roll 2 dice for him to attack, and that we need to roll a 3 or higher for him to score a hit. We roll a 2 and a 6. The 2 is a miss, but the 6 scores a critical hit, which scores 2 hits instead of 1. The Maya Kelpie's defense characteristic is 0, so it can't block either of the hits, and it takes 2 damage. As its health characteristic is only 1, it's slain. We've taken our first step towards cleansing the spawn pit. The Maya Kelpie's not quite done though. Its splat ability means it explodes when struck by a critical hit, inflicting 1 damage to nearby heroes. Move Edmarc's damage token down 1 space to show that he's lost 1 health. Once a hero or enemy has no health left, it's incapacitated. With Edmarc's core abilities expended, his turn ends. Flip his initiative token. The player with the leader token is responsible for activating enemies. In this case, that's the player controlling Edmarc Valoran. The Maya Kelpies have a group activation number of 3, so in each enemy turn, the nearest 3 Maya Kelpies to the hero that just finished their turn will activate. That's Edmarc, and the remaining Maya Kelpies want revenge on the hero who killed their friend. Start with the Maya Kelpie closest to Edmarc. The action cue on the enemy card shows how it activates each battle round. As the action token is on the top row, roll a black action dice for the Maya Kelpie. The leader rolls advance twice for the first Maya Kelpie. This action means the Maya Kelpie moves its full movement characteristic twice in the direction of the nearest hero. It moves as far as possible, trying to reach a hex next to that hero. The Maya Kelpie has a move characteristic of 2, so it moves 2 hexes and ends the move next to Edmarc. Because it's already next to a hero, the second advance action becomes a quick attack. The leader rolls 1 dice for the Maya Kelpie attack and needs a 4 or higher to hit. Luckily for Edmarc, quick attacks can't score critical hits. The leader rolls a 4, so the Maya Kelpie hits. Thanks to his impressive plate armor, Edmarc has a defense characteristic of 3+, which means he needs to roll a 3 or higher to deflect the damage and avoid losing health. We roll a dice and get a 5, successfully blocking the hit and avoiding any damage. Furious that such a lowly creature dared attack him, Edmarc can now counterattack using his Flaring Temper ability, which goes off on a roll of 5 or higher. Unfortunately, we roll a 3. The Maya Kelpie's safe for now. The next 2 nearest Maya Kelpies to Edmarc must now activate. The leader must roll the black action dice for each of those enemies and carry out their actions. Finally, at the end of the enemy turn, resolve the Endless Waves rule on the encounter card. The Endless Waves rule means that even as you slay the foul creatures, more slither from their corrupted nests. Place the slain Maya Kelpie in a Nurgle hex that doesn't already have a hero or enemy in it. Then the next hero turn begins. Looking at the initiative track, it's Bren Tylus's turn. Continue taking hero and enemy turns until you reach the end of the initiative track, and therefore the end of the battle round. Move the action token on the Maya Kelpie's action queue to the next row. Flip each hero's initiative token back over and move the timer token 1 space to the right on the round track. We go again, starting with Edmarc's second turn. All of his expended abilities are refreshed, ready to wreak havoc on the foe once more and render their putrid nests to naught but rotten heaps. And that's all the basics covered. From here, you'll continue playing until your heroes either cleanse the spawn pit and win the encounter, or are overwhelmed by the Maya Kelpies and perish, doomed to languish in the bog forever. Once you've finished the quick start encounter, you can either jump into a one-off skirmish, choosing a card from the encounter deck, or begin an epic campaign. In campaign play, you'll make choices and pick up treasure that'll make every game feel fresh and exciting. Every hero has their own rules and abilities, offering different playstyles and skills to get your teeth into. Combined with random scenario selection, you can be sure of a unique experience every time you play. Now go forth and free the Jade Abbey of its curse.